Getting started with Firebase. Again, we won't be using Firebase in our application, but it's just such a powerful tool that it's still useful for you to be aware of in case there is ever a need. So first of all, Firebase is a real-time reactive document database. So what does that mean? It means that whenever you make a change in your database, in your code, that change instantly goes to Google servers and it's being propagated automatically to different devices that are connected to the same database. So this requires extensive planning for security, how the data is being propagated, and design for the data format and how you're going to store it so it can be efficient. What's also good that all the servers from Firebase are stored and managed by Google, so you don't need to ever worry about its uptime, configuration, and so on. You just can start use it. As before, you'll need to set up some dependencies before you can use Firebase. So the setup here is pretty straightforward as before. You just include a few dependencies, Firebase core, Firebase, the database itself, and you're ready to go. And the data being stored on Firebase, its format is called documents, and it differs a little bit from usual SQLite database format where the data is stored in tables row by row. Here you just store documents in collections. So you can create nested dependencies of documents within documents, and that gives enormous flexibility in the design of your domain. If you would like to write data into Firebase, it's one of the simplest examples you can use. So here it basically acquires reference to the Firebase database, then it goes to the user's path and selects its child based on user ID and sets value to the user object. So that's a rather straightforward operation. However, it's not always so simple. Sometimes, most often, you need to do data conversion. You need to acquire keys for the data you just stored. Then you need to convert your domain models into maps that can be handled by Firebase. So it's just a bit more difficult to use, for example, than the object box or room libraries that we have been using. Also, the reading data is done in a reactive manner. So you just don't retrieve the data. You set listeners for the data, and whenever there is a change, you have to handle the change. So that introduces additional complexity in the application, and it really makes you think if you want to use Firebase in your application. So you have to really wait if there is a need for Firebase in your application. So what is it good for? It's a perfect case for example, messengers, collaboration tools. So for example, if you are implementing some kind of drawing program, Paint, you can make it distribute your images in real time that you are drawing with other users of the application. Also, there are possibilities to create all kinds of interactive tools. So whenever there is need for real-time collaboration between different users on different devices, Firebase would be a go-to choice. Our application doesn't need that, Stock Portfolio Manager, so we'll just leave it here. And basically, you have to be aware that there is Firebase, that you can use it for real-time collaboration, and that's it. In this section, we have covered data persistence on Android and its various options. So we have seen how to use SQLite and its frameworks. Probably you knew already because that's the most basic option available. We also took a look at the more advanced choices such as Room and Object Box and how they help to streamline data persistence and its retrieval. And finally, we briefly covered content providers, why you should use and why you shouldn't use them, and the Firebase database. The next section is advanced testing and performance, where we will cover various techniques for Android testing and how to optimize performance by using advanced data structures.